Okay, let's wrap this up. So I went back to my original body fat list and I actually added a few more numbers into it. So I've got 100 numbers now. So these percentiles aren't going to quite match what we did before. But anyway, I went through my list and I found the 25th percentile and the 50th and the 75th. I'll just like to remind you again that we have sort of this alternate notation here. Could call that the first quartile, could call that the second quartile or the median, and we could call this the third quartile if we wanted to. But anyway, these 5 numbers right here, so the 3 quartiles and then the lowest number in the list, the minimum, and the biggest number in the list, the maximum, these 5 numbers right here have a name. Mathematicians are so creative. This is known as the 5-number summary. Brilliant, huh? And it basically just splits it up into fourths, right? It says, hey, a fourth of the body fats are between 4.6 and 12.8, and a fourth of them are between 12.8 and 18.15, and so on. So that's the 5-number summary, and along with the 5-number summary, we get this new graph. And so let's talk about that one. Let's see. Let's get this graph going here. Wow, look at that nice straight line. Totally cheated. I was using a ruler, but I'm sure you didn't know that. Anyway, so let's just make a regular number line here. Let's go 0 to 40, and this is just a straight number line, so it should be to scale. So 20's in the middle of this, and 10's in the middle of that, and 30 is in the middle of that. So regular old number line. But this plot that comes from the 5-number summary usually floats a little bit above a number line. Usually you don't even draw the number line, but the important part is this plot also needs to be to scale. So the first thing we do is we just go and we put vertical lines above the number line where each of our 5-number summary numbers are. So I need to plot 4.6. So let's see, there's 5. So put a vertical line at about 4.6. Put one at 10.8. So about right there. Put one at 18.15. So 20. So 18.15, about there. Put one at 24.4. So let's see, there's 25, so 24.4 is about right there. And the last one will live at 38.2, so up about there. And again, in some ways, all we're really saying here is just that, hey, 1/4 of all the values are living in this space. And another 1/4 of all the values are living in that space. But rather than just sort of shading a little bit, the typical way to represent this is to put a box around the middle 2 quartiles, or the middle 3 numbers. So put a box around those, and then put lines out to the outside too. So this is the box, and these are the whiskers. So this is why they call it a box and whisker plot, because it looks a little bit like a kitty. You can put some kitty ears on there, and a little nose, and a little mouth. No, don't do that part. Well, you can if you want to. I would enjoy it, but anyway, usually they just call this thing a box plot now. I still like thinking of a box and whisker plot. And the important thing again here is that this really should be to scale. So if there's more space between the 75th percentile and the maximum, if there's more space right here, that should be bigger than this bit over here where things are a little bit more condensed. And of course, drawing these by hand is okay, but typically we end up drawing these with technology. So let's go back to StatDisk. So let's get stat disk up. When you're doing your homework, you'll type in a smaller data set, but these are my 100 body fat measurements typed in right here. And then you'll go up to data, and under the menu here, you get box plot as one of your options. And as usual, it's not quite smart enough to know which column you want. Although this is actually nice if you have two different data sets, you can do two box plots next to each other. But anyway, you say, hey, I want to do the body fat column, and click box plot. And it spits things out for you pretty quickly. It's got a much better drawn box plot than the one that I could draw. It does actually put the 5-number summary over here on the side, which is kind of nice. Some of the homework asks you for the 5-number summary, so you can just dump things into stat disk and hit box plot and get the box plot and just copy down the 5-number summary. Totally good with you using technology. I want you to use technology on this homework. You'll have enough to do by hand when you find like 37th percentile and stuff. You'll have to do that part by hand. But this part, so when you're doing your homework, I'm totally fine if you just take a screenshot of this and paste it into your homework. You can also click this little camera icon right here, and it will download the plot as a image, a PNG file, if that works better for you. Most of the time for me, it's easier to just use my little snipping tool and take a screenshot of what's going on right here. But that is how you can make a box plot by hand with the 5-number summary, and also how you can make a box plot using technology, which is what I would recommend. All right, we've gone through a lot of videos. My voice is dry, and you are ready for the homework, so go to it.